Bring in two of our political commentators now. Former communications director for Senator Ted Cruz, Alice Stewart, and former spokesman for California Congressman Darrell Issa, Kurt Bardella. Guys, and how are those constituents back home going to respond? We know the original GOP plan had just 17% approval. So, Kurt, does Congress have the political will to push through a bill that may not be popular with most Americans?
Well, I think the challenge here is, they always say the devil's in the details, and this is going to be happening so quick that we're not going to have a lot of the facts until this bill is potentially passed and potentially signed into law, what the real impacts will be to the American people. We saw during the first iteration of Repeal and Replace, the CBO, Congressional Budget Office, put out some very politically damaging figures about what their plan would do for health care in America, who would be left behind, what the cost would be to the deficit. These are figures that we're not going to have this time around because they really, I think that this has to happen this week. Congress is set to go on recess Thursday for another week, and one of the key points here is under the authority they're using to do this right now, it's called reconciliation, that authority could elapse if they put a new budget in place, which they're trying to do to avoid a shutdown, and then they would need 60 votes in the Senate instead of 50+1. So they are really running out of time to get this done both in the House and then ultimately to the Senate. I think that ultimately, in the long run, this could really be career suicide for a lot of political people who vote for this.
Well, let's switch gears just a little bit and listen to the president talking about how tough or easy his job is. Let's play it.
Well, it's a tough job, but I've had a lot of tough jobs. I've had things that were tougher, although I'll let you know that better at the end of 8 years, perhaps 8 years, hopefully 8 years, but I'll let you know later on.
Kurt, your thoughts?
I think it's disturbing that this is the hardest job in the world, running this country. And for someone to try to run for that, ultimately win it, and not have a full grasp or understanding about the complexities involved of making this country run. Someone who thinks that it's okay to go on vacation to a Mar-a-Lago every other week and doesn't want to ever leave the White House, doesn't want to ever leave the United States to go visit foreign dignitaries and build diplomatic relations. This is a guy who, one of the people close to him, Roger Stone, said would rather sit on his couch, eat pizza all day or McDonald's. He's lazy. He's intellectually lazy, and that's very dangerous for someone in this job to not have a full gravity of what the position really entails.
And in all fairness, as you point out, he has not made any overseas trip, but he has had visits from a number of other foreign leaders who have come to the White House, and he has been on the phone with them regularly, including a handful just this week. And Kurt Bardella and Alice Stewart, thank you both for being on tonight.
Thank you,
Thanks, Anna.